Hi, it's Nicole for Bella Boulevard today, and I've got a fun single page layout featuring the Teen Vibes Caitlyn collection. Now, the subject of my photos are sports awards, so I already know, pulling from this collection, I'm not going to find school themed items, and I'm not really going to find cheer specific items. But the Caitlyn collection has a lot of black and red and pink, which for my particular event was going to be perfect. My daughter's school theme colors are red, white, and black. And then I feel like the pink is going to kind of play on that feminine kind of vibe that you get from cheerleaders. Now, I did pull out the entire collection. You can see I've cut into it quite a bit. And this is one of my favorite things to do is to do kind of like a color focus when you're pulling out a collection and there's all this stuff going on. I feel like when you can kind of rein it in a little bit and just focus on a couple colors, it really speeds up the process. I think start to finish, I actually got this layout done in about 30 to 40 minutes, which, if you know me, that is like lightning speed. But I think it was just because I kind of pulled back on some of the things that I love to do. I sometimes like to go overboard with die cut scenes or stitching, punching, die cutting, all those kind of time consuming things. Today, I really just wanted to scale back, kind of focus on, with an awards ceremony being a little bit more serious, kind of just tone it down a little bit, but still, like I said, play into the theme of this event. I cropped my photos. I've got a 3x4 of my daughter and her coach, a 3x3 of the entire squad of girls, and then a little 2x3 where I had tried to zoom in of my daughter after she got her specific award. And then I've got the black paper is from the Blvds, the red polka dot is a B-side from Caitlyn, and then I wanted to use these cute little sneakers on this pattern paper. A lot of the girls showed up wearing cute like dresses and skirts and had paired them with fun sneakers, and I thought that was just so like adorable. So I wanted to find a way to kind of have a nod to that and kind of bring in a little bit of playfulness to a more serious event, if that makes sense. Now, I am going to pull out, this is a really old punch. I bought it years ago. I believe it's called Bumpy Road. I can't remember the manufacturer off the top of my head right now. But I bought it years ago when I first discovered Bella Boulevard because they used to have border stickers that had almost an identical edge to this. So it's always kind of in the back of my mind when I pull out Bella Boulevard stuff. This punch tends to pop up into my brain. So I grabbed that out to kind of bring a little bit of more interest to that red pattern paper. So I'm going to layer these up, and using that striped black pattern paper made lining things up on this really easy. I feel like typically I go horizontal with these papers, but I really wanted to have just kind of this fun, vertically centered design concept. I didn't use a sketch today. I didn't really have like a plan in mind outside of just that vertical kind of concept. So I just kind of printed my photos out in random sizes, started cutting strips of paper, and just kind of went with no plan. And I love where this turned out. I'm going to use that athletic phrase to build my title. I do have 2 sheets of the Caitlyn stickers because I had purchased this collection, and then when I joined the design team, they sent it to me as well. I was hoping I could spell out awards night with those, but because the colors are mixed, I didn't have enough letters. So I pulled out the Bella Besties alphabet stickers, and there's 3 different pink colors. So I pulled all 3 of them and just kind of tried to figure out which one I felt like worked really well with that athletic phrase. That phrase I am going to pop up on foam adhesive, but these letter stickers I'm going to put down. Normally I like to pop these up Today, I was very much in the mood for that kind of flat, super secured alpha. I'm going to get a couple letters down before I realize that the G is one of those letters that hangs lower, and I don't want anything on my photos. Normally, I like having things touching, but like I said, I was really, for some reason in my mind, I just kind of pictured like when you're typing out a bunch of stuff, how you've got, left justified, right justified, centered, that kind of thing. I just really was picturing everything kind of lining up in the middle and centered top to bottom, however I could possibly make that work. So I didn't really want to have like the overlapping kind of messy type of embellishing that I would normally do. And I think it's because it goes back to what's going on in the event. To me, this was a little bit more serious of an event. So I kind of wanted my layout to have a little bit more of a serious vibe to it with, like I said, some nods to some fun kind of teeny type of stuff with like the sneakers. And I'm going to bring in some cute little hearts here at the end. I did go ahead and grab, there was a black phrase from that same pack of die cuts that I couldn't not use it. I loved it. I grabbed a label sticker that matches that same red pattern paper that I used on the borders to kind of tuck behind that photo up at the top and fill in some of that space. I kept my embellishing really simple. Like I said, something about the event being a little bit more serious. I wanted everything to kind of just be more calm. And for me, that's kind of unheard of. I dug through the other pack of die cuts for this one specific chat bubble. I felt like it helped bring in the reds. It helped fill in that kind of opening with the title. And then I'm going to go to these enamel hearts from the Caitlyn collection. These were perfect. At first, I thought I was going to use the little tiny hearts from the sticker sheet, but when I saw those, I was like, yes, to me, they're such a playful shape. They're going to kind of help bridge that gap between, the serious topic and the kind of playful vibes that the girls on the squad kind of have. I am using my journaling hack. I have a video on how I do this. I link it in the description of my videos. It's just a Hero Arts sentiment strip die that I have created a template to fit my journaling in. This saves me time cutting strips. And if I can, I try to do a couple layouts of journaling at a time. So if you saw 2 sections of journaling, it's because I had typed up 2 layouts worth the night that I was working on this. I'm going to, again, align my journaling centered underneath everything down here. I love how these look with that black phrase, and I'm just eyeballing. I'm not using a ruler to kind of center these. I think visually I don't know, something about this was so simple, but just kind of scratched the itch that I was having today. I'm going to bring in a couple of these little dots that were on the enamel sheet as well, and I love how this turned out. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you have not, and check the description if you're looking for any links. And if you have yet to join the Blvd fan Facebook group, make sure you go ahead and do that. And thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys another time. Bye.